All right, we are live, and yeah, this is a little different kind of everything. And hold on, I gotta fix some stuff because the camera's off, and just a lot of weird things because the camera edit. Customization. All right, well, that's just going to be what it is. I got to fix the camera. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Gotta go like, yeah, it looks right. All right. All right. So clearly, I'm live for a reason. And that reason is my laptop is broken. You can clearly see that this is not my normal laptop. My laptop it needs to get fixed. It won't be fixed for a couple weeks. So in the meantime, I will be live streaming all the podcast episodes. And if you guys like that, maybe it'll be something that we just do from here on out. Streams obviously will be sporadic and everything. And before we go any further, I want to make sure everything sounds good before we get going, and I sound like an absolute buffoon. Yes, everything sounds good. Okay, perfect. But welcome back. We are back, kind of, sort of. I just want to say, before we get going into anything, how grateful I am to all of you that showed up during the 1 year live stream. It was a lot of fun. Obviously, there's a lot I would have liked to have done differently. I wish I had a lot more talking points. I wish it wasn't just me kind of commentating on the game. There's a lot that I would change next time, because there will be a next time. That much I can promise you guys. That's going to happen again. But I'm looking forward to doing it again, and I just want to send like my deepest gratitude and happiness and thankfulness. And I forgot to turn on the light. Hold on. Rookie mistakes all the time. Hold on. There we go. God, I'm not in my area for one time, and I forget how everything works. But in all seriousness, I'm not centered at all. Jesus, what am I doing? Thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for not only that, but everything over the past year. This has been awesome. Being able to do this week, a few times a week, and everything. And I'm just so grateful and thankful that you guys are there, that you guys are supporting me, that you guys are commenting and watching this and having conversations with me about this Phillies team, because this is what I want to do. I mean, this is what I went to school for. This isn't, obviously everybody loves the Phillies and everybody loves sports and everything, but I, can't believe that here we are a year later, and I have been able to get all of these followers and people actually asking me, friends that haven't watched baseball that know I do this, and reaching out to me saying like, you're getting me into the sport a little more, and it just means so much to me that I'm able to do that for some people, and I'm able to be somebody to some people, if that makes sense. Like, there's a gazillion baseball and Phillies podcasts out there, and I'm just grateful that enough people have listened to me and care about what I have to say, or are interested in what I have to say. And it's awesome, and I'm so thankful and so grateful for it. And here's to another year, man. Like, it's pretty insane that and even the changes. maybe one of the off-season episodes, I'll go back and watch some of my older stuff and to see, the vast changes. Obviously, when I started this, I was wearing headphones and doing it in my bedroom and not wanting anybody to know what I'm doing. And it's kind of crazy that here we are a year later. I have a set, I have a microphone, I have lights, I have editing software, and I have people helping me out. And it's pretty crazy that how much has changed in a year, and who knows where the hell I'll be in another year. It's extremely humbling. It means the world to me. And it really, really means a lot. Seriously. So thank you, everybody. If you watched one episode 8 months ago, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. And as for the laptop situation, let me elaborate a little bit, because I realized when I said it and then everything else was going wrong. So I was preparing to do the 1 year live stream, and my laptop has worked perfectly fine all the time. What I would do, I would record on my laptop, edit it down, or edit it, make any adjustments lighting wise, and then I would, fix the audio and send it on to export it, send it to YouTube, and there we go. And that's what I was planning to do, was setting up my live stream, and my computer straight up sounded like a jet engine. The thing would not shut up. It was like going like and it was getting super hot. So eventually I turned it off, made an appointment to get it looked at. And I won't have it for a couple weeks. So Ashlyn, being the amazing, beautiful, lovely woman and girlfriend she is, allowed me to have her laptop for until I get mine back. So the reason I'm live streaming these now is because her computer doesn't have like my editing software or my recording software. So we will just be live streaming everything. And if people come in, want to have a conversation live, we can. But if not, it's just going to go straight to VOD after, and then you guys can watch it kind of whenever. So that's the reason we're live streaming, is because her computer literally can't handle it doing it the normal way. So that's why I'm coming to you guys live. But we got a series to go over. It was a bad series. It was a frustrating one, but we got to get through it all. So in today's episode, we have headlines, the series overview against the Twins, some series keynotes that I would like to go over, another edition of the same show rebranded as in Remember Him? Remember him? Remember that guy, that one time? And I got to say that doing this series, the Where Are They Now and Remember Him, has helped me immensely on the Immaculate Grid, because I just did I had one 2 days ago. I had a rarity score of 9, which was like unreal. And then today I think I had like a 26 rarity score on it. So doing this segment has really helped me. Like I used, I won't spoil, but I used a picture that's in today's episode in my Immaculate Grid today. So there's one I'm waiting to use for Mariners Giants, and I'm sitting on it. I'm just letting it simmer. I won't spoil who it is, but let's just say he was a great backup catcher. But yeah, and then we have the series overview. Only 2 games against the Toronto Blue Jays. And in that series, I think I'm going to record Thursday morning because I'm off from work and I will be home. I won't be away. I'm actually going to an Eagles game that night. So if you guys are there, come say hi. I don't bite, I promise. And I'm going to the Eagles preseason game on Thursday. So Thursday morning, I'll probably do the episode live, and then it'll just be the same thing. That's kind of going to be the routine, is do the live. If people come in, great. If not, no big deal. VOD will be done as soon as I hit end stream. So everything's going to be the same. It's just live now instead of pre-recorded. Quite literally, everything's the same. Lighting, camera, the mic, everything is the exact same. It's just live. So, yeah. All right, so let's get into it. Headlines: the Phillies are sending Jose Alvarado on a rehab assignment soon, which is going to be huge, huge for them, because their bullpen is a little taxed right now, especially going with the 6-man rotation. You don't have that extra arm in the bullpen. That, however, is changing once this Toronto series is over. They're going to be skipping Taijuan Walker's spot in the lineup or in the rotation to give him an extra day's rest, which I think is huge. Taijuan kind of looks a little taxed. Didn't look particularly good in his second the second game of this series. Walked a lot of more guys, so I think they want to give him an extra day's rest. So that'll be huge to get Alvarado back, because honestly, I don't know who I trust in that bullpen. I trust Craig Kimbrell, which is a sense, again, I never thought I'd say. I trust him. I like Hoffman. Marte was good and then exploded, and now he is in the minors again. And Luis Ortiz is back up, which again, I'm not a huge fan of Luis Ortiz. And it kind of stems back to was DFAing Andrew Vasquez, which I used on the Immaculate Grid today. Is DFAing him? Was that the right idea? I don't know. We won't, it's one of those coulda, shoulda, woulda, like who knows what would have happened. But it's what it is. But getting Alvarado back is going to be huge, because then he can be leaned on a little more and bolsters up everybody, because then, you have that lockdown, because Soto's been an absolute disaster. And I'll talk about him and once we get to the keynotes, because I have some notes about him. It's frustrating with him all the time. Dominguez has looked a lot better. Hoffman, I still really like. Strom has been really good. But then after that, I mean, I feel like I'm seeing all these guys over and over and over again. Nobody feels like it's an off day. And getting Alvarado back is going to be huge. Another guy coming back soon is going to be Christian Pache. He's beginning a rehab assignment in AAA, so that's going to be huge to get him back. And like I mentioned in the last podcast, that he will probably beat Braden Marsh back. And then, I would assume, if I'm a betting man, that Rojas will be optioned once. It's probably going to be Jake Cave who's going to be optioned once Pache's back, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it'll, but that doesn't. Yeah, it has to be Jake Cave, or unless they option Johan Rojas when Pache's healthy to AAA. But I don't know. Because Cave does give you more defensive versatility, and he's a lefty bat. So the defensive versatility comes from him being able to play first base, albeit not well, but he's a body out there first. So, we'll see what they do there. But point is, Pache is coming back sooner, which is going to be huge for this Phillies team, because it feels like every time he finally gets rolling, he gets hurt. So hopefully, this will be the last time that he needs to be sent on the IL, and he's here for the rest of the season. Now let's get into it. Let's get into the only fun game of the series. Game 1, the Phillies won 13-2. My players of the game were Trea Turner and Bryson Stott. So Christopher Sanchez made the starts. He went 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 5 strikeouts. And the 2 runs came in the top of the second on home runs by Max Kepler and Jorge Polanco. Now you're thinking like, oh God, here we go. Philly said, I got you. Do not worry. There's no such thing as a shutdown inning, because especially when Dallas Keuchel is pitching in 2023. I said after that scoreless first inning, I'm like, I refuse to get shut down by Dallas Keuchel today. It's not happening. It is absolutely not happening. Then we get to the second inning, and that's kind of when the floodgates opened up. You had Bryson Stott with an RBI double, JT with his RBI single, Rojas with an RBI ground out, Schwarber with an RBI single, Bohm with a sac fly, and Turner with an RBI single to make it 6-2. And I said, there we go. finally, we aren't getting shut out by Dallas Keuchel, because I would have not handled that well. That much I can tell you. Would not have handled Dallas Keuchel shutting down the Phillies in 2023 particularly well. So I'm glad they decided not to do it. And then I had to check something. Sorry. And then we get to the fourth. Trea Turner with an RBI double, and Cassidy with an RBI single. Stott with a sac fly. All made it 9-2 going out of the fourth. Then you had back-to-back home runs by Stott and JT in the sixth to make it 11-2. And I just gotta say, we did it. We fixed Trea Turner, because boy golly, is he on fire. That's why he's the name of the episode, because Trea Turner has raised his batting average from like 236 to 252, and he just looks so much more comfortable at the plate, which is just huge. Imagine if the Phillies get the WBC Trea Turner. This team already was so good, but add that guy in, and holy hell, are they a damn good baseball team. Getting Trea Turner to be Trea Turner is ginormous, and it seems like they did. It seems like they unlocked it. I mean, he's hitting like 9 straight. That's why the title of the episode is what it is. Also, shout out to Jack Fritz for the idea. But God, he just looks so comfortable. He's not swinging at first pitches. He's not swinging at that slider down and away. He just looks just so locked in and comfortable. And even defensively, he's making plays out there. And Trea Turner was never a great defensive shortstop, but he was fine. And just to see him doing his normal Trea Turner stuff that we saw when he was with the Nationals and with the Dodgers, it's awesome, because this is all we wanted. All we wanted from Trea Turner was for him to just turn it on and be Trea Turner, and we're finally seeing that. We're finally being able to see that, and it's awesome to see. And then we get to the the bottom of the eighth. Yeah, Jordan Luplow pitching, and he does the Craig Kimbrell, this, and then fires pitch, and then the next pitch, Johan Rojas. First major league home run. It was against a position player, but hey, Mitch Walding turned out okay, right? What is Mitch Walding? Hold on. I got to see what Mitch Walding's up to in this season. Like, what is Mitch Walding up to in the year 2023? Let's see. Mitch Walding. Here we go. So, okay, so he is no longer in the league anymore. I'm just so curious. Angels, Padres. Oh, so he retired last year. Signed a minor league deal with the San Diego Padres. He was going to convert to a catcher, and in 7 games batted .046 in AA, and then announced his retirement. So there's talking Mitch Walding and the .NET Phillies podcast. So there you go. And then it was just really funny. And then you had Hoffman pitch an inning, 2 strikeouts, and then Dylan Covey, because it's a blowout, was put in for 2 innings, 1 hit, no 1 runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts for Mr. Covey or Covey. I hear both, but I don't care enough. And then we get to the bad stuff. Then we get to the bats, the only kind of fun that we were able to have. Game 2, Phillies lost 8-1. My player of shame is Gregory Soto. So Taijuan Walker, not a great start from the walk department, but he was still fine. 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 6 walks, 2 strikeouts. So not good, and I think that's why they're giving him another night off, or an extra, like they're skipping his spot in the rotation. So Max Kepler, RBI ground out in the first, make it 1-0, and then Matt Wallner, solo home run in the fourth to make it 2-0. Joey Gallo, solo home run in the fourth to make it 3-0. Carlos Correa, solo home run in the seventh to make it 4-0. And this is kind of when it all unraveled. Walker, 5 innings. Strom tackled an inning. And then we get to Gregory Soto, who has, and I've been saying it, has been a disaster since the All-Star break. I mean, he has I wrote it in here, has a 6.35 ERA in the second half. And that's supposed to be a guy that you're leaning on. Gregory Soto can't be put in high leverage situations when he's rocking a 6.35 ERA in the second half. To put that into perspective, Dylan Covey in the second half has a sub 2 or around a 2 ERA. I'm not sure the exact number, but a 2 ERA in the second half. So what are we doing here with Gregory Soto? He was on a good stretch, like in July. I think he had like an 0.6 something ERA. And in June, and then July and August, he's been a wreck. He has been a disaster out there. I don't know what you do with Gregory Soto. I don't know. I seriously don't know, because he's supposed to be a guy with Alvarado's absence. And the reason you DFA'd Andrew Vasquez is because you didn't want to have too many lefty options out there. And for Christ's sake, Soto has been terrible. And Andrew Vasquez was, getting hit around a little bit. But right now, I would take Andrew Vasquez over Gregory Soto. For Christ's sake, I'm taking Dylan Covey over Gregory Soto right now. I'm taking Andrew Painter with a repaired UCL right now over Gregory Soto, because he has been awful. He has been terrible. And I get Thompson having to use him and having to use him in these high leverage situations, because he is one of your higher leverage relievers, but he's been awful. He should be on mop-up duty, for God's sakes, but then you have 2 mop-up guys, and you have like 4 reliable relievers out there. I don't know what the plan is here, because I don't know if sending Christopher Sanchez to the bullpen is exactly the answer, because you don't know what he's going to look like out there. He's a fine starter. He's been really, really good. He's been a blessing to this Phillies rotation, but I don't know how he translates to the bullpen. And yet again, it's a lefty out of the bullpen. And this comes back to, I think, not getting a reliever at the deadline is going to come to bite them, because who do you have in the minors? You have Bilotti, who has been terrible in the major leagues so far this season. Connor Brogdon has been just an enigma this entire year. He's having a terrible year in the majors and in the minors. Then who do you have? The entire Phillies minor AAA bullpen guys all have like 6 ERAs right now. So I don't know who you turn to if you decide to send Christopher Sanchez down and rock with Lorenzen in the 5 spot. But it's got to change. You need a fresh arm out there. And I don't think Ortiz is the answer. And again, it comes back to, should you have DFA'd Andrew Vasquez? It's a serious question, but what are you going to do? I mean, I can't, sorry. Oh, cool. Well, breaking news. The Phillies are promoting Justin Crawford to high A. So there you go. Breaking news live. See that you don't get that. You get that live. Phillies are promoting Justin Crawford. Good. But yeah, Soto unraveled. A third of an inning, 4 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. He's almost at a 5 ERA on the season. Come on. I know you traded not a lot. You traded Matt Vierling, who's had a very nice season for the Tigers. You traded Nick Maton, who has been not particularly good for the Tigers. And you traded Donnie Sands, which I don't know if he's even touched the major leagues so far. But I seriously don't know how you fix Gregory Soto right now. I don't. I don't know what you do. But I don't know. I seriously don't know. These off days are going to be great. You have one tomorrow. You have one on Thursday. So you're going to need it, because, God, this bullpen seems taxed right now. Seems taxed. But then Wallner, RBI single in the 7th, and Joey Gallo with a dagger. 3-run home run against Marte. And then you had Castellanos with an RBI ground out to make it 8-1. However, the positive note, the good note here, Trey Turner, 3 for 3. Went 3 for 3. Has over a 700 OPS for the first time since May. So good. Good. Then we get to today's game. And full disclosure, I didn't watch today's game. I was working all day. And then I was going to record when I got home from work, but then I went out to dinner with my mom and my brother. So it was very nice, which is why we're getting it now. But Phillies lost 3-0. It was an infuriating game. I mean, obviously you're going against Sonny Gray, who is one of the better pitchers in the American League, as free agent at the end of the year. Definitely having a very good contract season. A guy that maybe the Phillies might go after, especially with Aaron Nola being a disaster. So maybe they dish out the money for a Sonny Gray, who's been really, really solid for the majority of his career. The only time he wasn't good is when he was with the Yankees, but that's because the Yankees didn't want him to throw his best pitch, because that makes sense. Offense was taxed until the 7th inning. The Phillies have bases loaded, 2 outs, 3-2 count to your best RBI guy, Alec Bohm. He digs in, get ready for the pitch. Pitch comes in, ball's inside, starts to walk up. The umpire said, nope, not here. That's a called strike 3. Bohm slams his bat, slams his helmet, is ejected. And I have to ask, when is Major League Baseball going to hold umpires accountable for game-altering decisions like this? It's ridiculous. I feel like every single night there is some umpire who has some sort of God complex or some sort of it's all about me that blow a call that cost the team a game. Because who knows? Obviously, Bohm gets that call, which was the right call. What happens is you have one of the best players in baseball in Bryce Harper coming up in that situation, who lives for the big moment, loves the big moment, and he's swinging a hot bat. So who knows what happens? But because that umpire missed that call, the Phillies go down, and Dylan Covey was brought into the game. And it was... There just needs to be some sort of ramifications for umpires blowing calls this bad, because this changed the entire course of the game. The Phillies finally get something going and had a walk there, and who knows what happens. But the zero accountability that umpire has is ridiculous, because there should be some sort of accountability factor into this, because what's a job? It's easy to do a job when there's no consequences for you screwing up. There needs to be ramifications here. I don't know what they are. I don't know how you go about implementing that. I can't pretend like I know exactly what they would do in those situations. But for God's sakes, anything. Because this was a disaster. It was a train wreck. He misses that call. Bohm gets ejected. And then the Phillies offense just goes kaput again. That was their moment. And that umpire screwed up that call and cost us the game. Cost us the game is a bit extreme. But who knows what could have happened? You have you have a top 5 player in baseball, for God's sakes, coming up in that situation, who loves the big moment, who lives it. We saw it in the playoffs last year. We've seen it in the Grand Slam in 2019, and predicting win 9 out of 10 in 2020, and then they did in 2021. Christ's sake, guy won an MVP, put the team on his back in 2021, that entire stretch run when they were trying to get to the playoffs, and obviously they fell short. Then the entire stretch last year during the playoffs, carrying that offense. Guy loves the big moment, and that umpire ripped another moment from us. Because he couldn't, that ball is so inside, man. How do you miss that? The ball was so inside. Like, come on. It's not a freaking strike. We don't curse here. It's not a strike. and you blew that call and potentially cost the Phillies the game. Obviously, nothing set in stone. Harper could have swung at the first pitch, and the Phillies are down 2-1. But then, if they're down 2-1, maybe they go with a different bullpen option. But then at the same point, who do you have? Because this bullpen is depleted right now. So these off days are going to be nice, but it was frustrating. It was annoying. Positive note, Ranger looked like Ranger, which was huge. Ranger 6 1/3, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts. Looked like Ranger Suarez. Again, that fastball had zip on it. I think this dead arm thing or whatever he had is gone now, and he's back to just firing strikes in there. And it's what a revelation this will be if we get Ranger back to being Ranger. And hopefully this extra start, skip that they're doing with Taijuan Walker, hopefully will be good and get him back to on a roll. And yes, Nola got through 5, but he battled through 5 shut. So if maybe he's turning the corner. Wheeler Lorenzen has been a revelation so far. So maybe if we get these guys on track, we'll be aces. But I just want to check. What is my so some keynotes, I touched on it. I've actually touched on all of these, but I have an interesting note. Trea Turner, he's so back. He's so freaking back to being Trea Turner. Bullpen looks gassed, and again, I talked about that. Really, what do you do? I don't know. I'm the Philly. You're the Phillies guy, right? Yeah, I know, but it doesn't mean I know all the answers. I don't know who the hell they're going to call up. Come on now. Soto, like I said, has a 6.35 ERA in the second half. That's just unbelievable for a guy that's supposed to be one of your higher leverage relievers. That the guy that, you DFA'd Andrew Vasquez because he was going to be your lefty specialist, and with Alvarado coming back soon, he's been terrible. He's been awful so far. So that's cool. So here's my interesting little nugget. Aaron Nola's ERA this is perspective. Aaron Nola's ERA 4.49 this season. Not good. Not very good. Dylan Covey, who we all want off this team, has a 4.66 ERA. So his ERA is 0.17 points higher than Aaron Nola's. Perspective. It was closer until he gave up the run today. It was like 4.49 to 4.5. But until he gave up that run today, so you win this one, Covey. But perspective, Dylan Covey and Aaron Nola are having practically the same season. So there you go. There's a little wrench in everything for you. And now we are on to the second edition of Remember Him? This is a series where I look back at some of the Phillies pitchers throughout the years, either starters from 2012 until current date. If you made one start for the Phils, you're on this list. I got a guy. The first guy had a great glove. Second guy I used on my immaculate grid, and the third guy is still currently with the team, albeit in the minors. But regardless, oh my god, this computer screw me up. Okay. My first guy had a great glove, and I mean that literally. Had a sick, dope pink glove. And the antennas are out. Yes, it's Jerome Williams. Jerome Williams, drafted by the Giants in the first round of the 1999 MLB draft. He features a fastball, cutter, changeup, slider, curve. Made his major league debut April 26, 2003. Spent 2003 to 2005 with the San Francisco Giants. 47 games, 46 starts, 277 innings to a 3.93 ERA. It's not bad. He then was traded to the Chicago Cubs in the 2005 season. The Cubs got Jerome Williams and David Ardsma. David Ardsma. I've never heard of that guy in my life. And then the Giants got LaTroy Hawkins. So he spent 2005 to 2006 with the Giants, 23 games, 19 starts, 118 and a third innings to a 4.28 ERA. He spent most of the 2006 season in AAA for the Cubs. He then signed with the Washington Nationals in the 2007 offseason. Spent 6 games, 30 innings, 7.20 ERA, was released in 2007. He then signed, he was picked up by Minnesota, struggled mightily, then went to the Long Beach Armada, the Golden Baseball League. His contract was purchased by the Dodgers in 2008, spent the entire season in AAA, claimed by Oakland in 2008, re-signed them in 2009, spent the entire season there in the minors. Then played winter ball for Indios de Mayaguez. That was so like white person. In 2009, played in Taiwan for the Uni President Lions in 2010, and then made his triumphant return to Major League Baseball in 2011 as a member of the Los Angeles Angels. Spent 2011 to 2013 with the Angels. 79 games, 46 starts, 351 innings to a 4.46 ERA, left in free agency, then signed a 1-year contract with the Houston Astros in 2014, 26 games, 47 and 2/3 to a 6.04 ERA. He was designated for assignment in August of that year, picked up by Texas, 2 games, 10 innings, 9.90 ERA. And then here we go. The big dog comes to the city of brotherly love. He was claimed off waivers by the Phillies in 2014, then re-signed with them in 2015. And if you guys remember, 2015 was the 100-loss season. So not particularly good. That was terrible. Bad year for Phillies baseball in 2015. He 42 games, 30 starts, 178 innings to a 4.84 ERA. After 2015, signed a minor league contract with the St. Louis Cardinals, spent a majority in AAA. However, his time in the majors, 11 games, 17 and a third, 5.71 ERA. Following that season, he signed with the Somerset Patriots of the Atlantic League of Professional Baseball. 11 games, 47 and 47 and a third innings to a 4.91 ERA. He then signed with the Arcides de Monclova of the Mexican Baseball League, 4 games, 22 and a third innings to a 5.96 ERA. And then in 2018, announced his retirement from baseball. So Jerome Williams, everybody. Let's check. Sorry. Texting. Okay. Professional over here. I've had a long day. My next guy is a guy that got me 0.02% on the Immaculate Grid today, and that'll be Sean O'Sullivan. I think you guys remember Sean O'Sullivan for getting the baseball, renting the trout. Sean O'Sullivan, drafted by the LA Angels in the 3rd round of the 2005 MLB draft, features a fastball, slider, curve, changeup. He made his major league debut June 16th, 2009, spent 2009 to 2010 with the LA Angels, 17 games, 11 starts, 64 and 2/3 innings to a 5.15 ERA. He was then traded in July of 2010 at the deadline to Kansas City. Kansas City got Sean O'Sullivan and Will Smith, and the Angels got Alberto Calaspo. Spent 2010 to 2011 with the Kansas City Royals, 26 games, 23 starts, 129 innings to a 6.63 ERA. He was released in 2012, went unclaimed, and then he was outrighted to AAA. Traded to Toronto in 2012 for cash considerations, spent the entire season in AAA for the Blue Jays. He then signed a minor league deal with the San Diego Padres in 2013, He was brought up in July of that season. 7 games, 3 starts, 25 innings to a 3.96 ERA. He was DFA'd in August and outrighted to AAA. He then signed a minor league deal with the Phillies, spent 2014 to 2015 with the Phillies, 16 games, 15 starts, 83 and two-thirds to a 6.13 ERA. Kind of an elevator man, back and forth between the minors and majors, dealing with injuries, which shocked me because that, bad Phillies teams during that little run there. And then after the 2015 season, signed a minor league deal with the Boston Red Sox, 5 games, 4 starts, 21 and a third to a 6.75 ERA. Again, kind of the same thing, up and down between the majors and minors for them. Sorry, my foot itches. Left in free agency, signed a 1-year, $1.1 million deal with the Nexen Heroes of the KBO. 3 games, 2 starts, 8 innings, 15.75 ERA. He was released in May of 2017. He signed a minor league deal with the Nats in 2017. Spent 2017 in AAA. However, in his brief stint in the majors, 11 games, 9 starts, 37 and two-thirds to a 5.50 ERA. Left in free agency. Signed with the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs of the Atlantic League of Professional Baseball in 2018. Here we go. Ready for these stats? 2 games, 5 and a third, a 20.25 ERA. He was released in May of 2018 and hasn't been heard from since. I could not find anything relating to Sean O'Sullivan in this current day and age. So that's Sean O'Sullivan, everybody. And my final guy today is a guy that I actually wanted in the rotation to begin the year. A guy that I thought could tackle some innings or have its emergency backup. However, it didn't really work out, but it's fine. That is Michael Plasmeyer. Michael Plasmeyer was drafted by Seattle in the 4th round of the 2018 MLB draft. Features a fastball changeup slider. He was traded to the Tampa Bay Rays in 2018. It was kind of a big trade. The Rays got Plasmeyer, Mike Zunino, and Guillermo Heredia. Seattle got Malik Smith and Jake Fraley in that trade. He then was traded to the Giants in 2021. The Giants got Plasmeyer, and the Rays got I screwed up. I doubled down. Yes, even I screw up. I messed up the transaction stuff with Mr. Plasmeyer. Hold on. Yes, even I make mistakes sometimes. Michael Plasmeyer. Okay, my apologies. The Giants traded him, or excuse me, yes, he was traded to the Giants. The Giants got Michael Plasmeyer. The Rays got Matt Winsler in that trade. And then he was traded to the Phillies in 2022. Phillies got Plasmeyer. The Giants got Austin Wynns. I wrote Austin Wynns twice for the Rays and for the Phillies trade. So that's where I screwed up. My bad. Made his major league debut August 22nd, 2022. 2 games, 7 and a third to a 3.68 ERA. He was actually released by the Phillies. However, re-signed with them in 2023. Is currently in the minors. And let me see. I forgot to look up his numbers so far this year. Let me see. Michael Plasmeyer. Not great. 46 innings, a 6.65 ERA. So not particularly good for Mr. Plasmeyer. But yeah, that's Michael Plasmeyer, everybody. All right, and this brings us to the series preview against the Toronto Blue Jays. We have Zach Wheeler versus Yusei Kikuchi and Aaron Nola versus Kevin Gausman. And I'd like to note that if you ever had an interview or heard an interview with Kevin Gausman and Aaron Nola, if you were blindfolded and just said, listen to these two people, you couldn't tell them apart. They sound the exact same. They have like the same mannerisms, the same like voice and monotone. And it's hilarious. And I think it's ironic that those two are going against each other. Just split. Is that too much to ask for? Just split. If you give me a split in Toronto, I'm happy. But it's going to be tough. I mean, they got dudes out there, they've been pretty hot. They're, top the wild card in the American League. So it's going to be tough. But I think, just don't do what you did this weekend, Phils. Don't score 1 run in 18 innings unless you're beating them 1-0 and then lose the next game by, however much. But do not score. Hear me out. Try to score more than 1 run. Can you do that? Good. All right, that's going to wrap it up for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And again, thank you so much for all the support over the past year and for tuning into that 1 year live stream. And, and yeah, I will be back on Thursday. So we will see then. The episode on Thursday is probably going to be a little shorter just because it's only 2 games we get to go over. So it's probably going to be a bit of a shorter episode, but yeah. Like, subscribe, follow all the socials down below, and I will see you guys on Thursday.